it really started, or the inspiration came during my first year at high school when we had a maths and science teacher who happened to be an amateur astronomer, and sometimes he'd forget the curriculum and give an impromptu talk about the stars and planets and whatnot, and I was enthralled. I was going to be an astronomer, I thought. And girls were supposed to stay home, get married and look after the family, and the man was the breadwinner. So anyway, I got a job as a junior lab assistant in the Minerals division of CSIR, which became later CSIRO, and took myself off to night school for 6 years. I was told at the interview for the position that if I got a diploma by part-time night school, it was called then, study, that I'd be automatically promoted to research scientist. But in the 6 years that I took to get, I decided I'd do 2 diplomas to be sure, but big mistake. During those 6 years, Melbourne University introduced the PhD, and so a diploma or BSc wasn't enough for the research staff. Well, a friend of mine said she thought she'd go overseas for a while, so I thought, all right, I'll go overseas too and get some experience over there. That might help me to get the research position when I came home. And so we were over there for 3 years. I worked at the Atomic Energy Establishment at Harwell, and then at Birmingham University, and it was a great experience, and it was very exciting because those scientists were at the forefront of research, which Australia wasn't very much in those days, and so that was a great experience. I was working for a young research scientist who set out a program, but and although I was frustrated, that I never lost interest in anything that I was doing, and I suddenly, fortuitously, discovered some compounds that hadn't before been known, and this led on to an extensive study of these new compounds, which were metastable phases. They continued to change to a stable phase, and it led to a study of metastable phases in general, not just these compounds. So in 1967, the then chief of the division considered my work warranted promotion to the research staff, and he had the moral courage to face the snide remarks and go to the executive and argue, despite my sex and my age of 40 years, because CSIRO considered that either men or women, if your most creative period is before you reach the age of 40. So if you haven't been reclassified before then, there's not much hope that you could. Anyway, the chief, Ivan Unum, argued with the executive and won the case to have me promoted to the research staff. Over the next 11 years, my researches, which were published, were patented, gained me a senior doctoral degree, which is the ACMI of research qualifications in CSIRO. PhD is the entrance level for research scientists, whereas the senior doctoral degree is the top. And then in 1986, I was appointed a member of the Order of Australia for my services to science, particularly in the field of mineral chemistry. And after that, the Women in Chemistry, which is a committee of women chemists that have come together over the years, got behind me and nominated me for the Leighton Medal of the Royal Australian Chemical Institute, which is their highest award, and they succeeded in gaining me the first woman to get the Leighton Medal, so that was good. Women today are looking forward, not backwards, it's only the historians that probably really appreciate what has happened in the past.